You ever wake up before dawn and realize your day's about to go sideways before you've even had your first cup of coffee? Yeah, that's how it started for me, Caleb. Roar, the so-called quiet guy at the dead end of Timberline Road. 5 in the morning, pitch black fog hanging low on the lake, and I see headlights crawling down my gravel lane real slow, like raccoons casing your trash cans. Only these were 3 HOA golf carts in tight little formation, amber lights blinking like they just robbed a school bus. The guys riding those carts wore these safety vests that screamed mall cop energy, HOA patrol stamped on the back like that means something. They rolled up to my dock, started fiddling with the gate, and one guy whipped out a roll of caution tape like he was about to rope off a murder scene. Let me back up a sec. I just stepped out of my porch boots and flannel, cradling my coffee when I clocked what they were up to. I set my mug down, wandered back inside, and pulled the old 12 gauge from the hall safe action open barrel pointed at the deck. Didn't have to say a word. Suddenly, all that fake bravado melted. One guy whispered abort, another tripped backwards into my kayak stack, and all 3 carts tore out of there fishtailing down the drive, yellow caution tape flying behind them like a comet tail. One even clipped my mailbox so hard it spun like a weather vane. So yeah, I'm the guy who rebuilds vintage fly reels for fun, grills veggies like they owe me rent, and treats his lake cabin like holy ground 15 years deed paid off, posted private property, the works. Back when I bought in Larkspur Cove, Birch Ridge, Oregon, was just a handful of cabins, and the HOA's biggest job was keeping the entrance mowed and the streetlights from flickering. I miss those days. Then the new guard took over. That's when Lynette Harrow showed up, HOA president, with a laser pointer holstered like a sidearm, clutching her Robert's Rules of Order binder like scripture. She once showed up to audit a neighbor's wind chimes with a decibel meter app and a clipboard serious as a heart attack. Another time she made old Mr. Harris repaint his shutters because the color was eggshell instead of approved ivory somehow, violating Section 12, subsection C, paragraph 4. Now Lynette, she figured out my land included the dock and a little skinny ribbon of shoreline private since '87, and suddenly she caught a case of what I call public amenity envy. In her mind, if it was nice, it belonged to everyone, meaning mostly to her. First came the Community Boathouse Initiative, a pastel memo stuffed in every mailbox, complete with an artist's sketch of happy families picnicking on my dock, magically transformed into a public marina with benches and a snack stand. Volunteer your dock, the memo chirped. Translation, surrender your property to Lynette's vision board. I sent back a copy of my deed, highlighted the riparian rights in yellow, and stapled a post-it that said, "No thank you, this is private property." She didn't like that answer. Suddenly I had golf carts circling my place 6 times a day, 2 retired HOA commandos, Gerald and Mitch, plus Lynette's nephew Brandon, all in visors and carrying walkie-talkies that chirped every 30 seconds. They wrote me up for improper moorage aesthetics because my kayak stuck out 3 inches past the visual threshold. Then for antisocial signage because my no trespassing sign didn't have a smiley face. The citations looked official fake seal, and all each one threatening $50 a day until I complied with, well, nothing in particular. I filed every one under evidence of harassment, took pictures, and started my own little case file. Lynette posted a map on Facebook labeled "My Cabin Future Community Lodge Pending Caleb Cooperation." Neighbors started fighting in the comments about whether I was selfish or practical for not sharing my dock. She even sent Gerald over with a petition, 17 signatures demanding I donate my dock for the public good. I asked Gerald, sweating through his visor, how many of those folks were donating their own property. He just looked at his shoes. Did Lynette stop? Of course not. She tried to get the county to declare my dock a public nuisance at a commission meeting. The commissioners checked my deed, looked at Lynette, and told her, "That's not how property rights work, ma'am." She left, muttering, laser pointer clicking like she wanted to tase someone. Then came the big move, seizure day. Flyers on every mailbox, 5 a.m. Arrival, 5:15 perimeter established. 5:30 asset transfer. Tools listed bolt cutters, caution tape, signs proclaiming the dock now belonged to the community. I read it 3 times just to be sure I wasn't dreaming. She even laminated a notice of taking and taped it to my gate. Fake state seal eminent domain by authority of Larkspur Cove HOA. The flyer cited made-up statutes and legalese that sounded like they were invented after a few glasses of boxed wine and a late-night PowerPoint session. And get this, her security contractor was her nephew's paintball team, minus the paint, 6 20-somethings in black polos with security ironed on. No licenses, no insurance, just walkie-talkies and too much Mountain Dew. But here's where the plot twists, because Lynette had no idea I'd been laying my own groundwork. After she plastered my cabin all over Facebook, I started emailing everyone: county council, sheriff, state attorney general. I sent in the seizure flyer screenshots of her fake citations and all the so-called notices. My attorney, Patricia Chan, property law with a serious grudge against HOA overreach, reviewed it all, started drafting an injunction, and got ready for the showdown. Night before seizure day, I set up my phone to record from the kitchen window, printed extra copies of my deed, double-checked the shotgun. Not because I wanted trouble, just because the sight of a firearm handled right tends to clarify things for people with delusions of authority. And then, 5 a.m., sharp, right on schedule, the golf carts rolled up, patrols jumped out and started messing with my gate. Porch light clicks on and suddenly blue lights wash over the lane. Sheriff's Tahoe right on cue. Deputy Marcus Hayes, big guy, 6'4", voice like a summer breeze, who'd already been warned by the sheriff's office this might turn criminal. He steps out, nods at me, says, "Calm as a lake at dawn." "Mr. Rohr, okay to set that inside?" I nod, put the shotgun away. He turns to the HOA crew, tells them, "Hands off the property. Step away from the gate." The security team instantly backs off. Gerald and Mitch freeze bolt cutters dangling. Brandon tries to argue, flashes, his Lake Safety Patrol badge laminated, of course. Deputy studies it for 3 seconds, says, "That's not a legal document." 15 minutes later, the county surveyor, Thomas Park, shows up, called in by the sheriff. He pulls out his tape, finds the iron pins, traces my property line, taps my dock with his boot, and announces, "Private. Recorded in county plat book since 1987. Lynette finally arrives in her luxury SUV, late for her own raid, waves a printout from her laptop claiming the dock is a common area. The surveyor doesn't even blink. "You drew this yourself, ma'am. You can't redraw property lines with Microsoft Paint." Lynette's face turns beet red. She insists there's a public easement. Surveyor asks to see the record. Of course she can't. Deputy peels the laminated notice off my gate with 2 fingers, tells her, "This misuse of the state seal is a felony, so's impersonating public authority, and right now you're trespassing. Please step over here." He pulls out his ticket book. Brandon can't produce a security license, neither can anyone on his crew. Deputy radios it in, finds out unlicensed security can run up $5,000 in fines each, plus criminal charges. Right there on the dock, Lynette's phone rings. She puts it on speaker, maybe expecting backup. Nope. It's Rachel Mendes, legal at Midwest Property Protectors, the HOA's own insurance company. "Mrs. Harrow," she says, "we are instructing you to stand down. You're not covered for this. Any legal costs will be on you personally." Lynette's face, pure fish out of water. 2 weeks later, I'm sitting in the HOA clubhouse, coffee-colored carpet and folding chairs at a special hearing. My attorney, Patricia, is dropping evidence like mic drops. Lynette's playbook for seizure day checklists. Doctored easement PDFs with my name pasted in body cam footage of Brandon arguing. Maybe the dock's abandoned if he's not hugging it at 5 a.m. Gerald muttering, "Saw him fishing there yesterday." The board looks like they want to disappear into their coffee mugs. Patricia runs through the financials, shows how Lynette used HOA funds to laminate her fake documents, print 200 flyers, and buy those matching polos. Total misappropriation, $1,237. The treasurer goes ghost white. Then the state attorney general's rep, Karen Frost, stands up, reads off charges, fraudulent documents, false state seals, criminal trespass. Each carries up to a year in jail, thousands in fines. The board trying to save themselves votes. Lynette out, unanimous. She stands. Pearls rattling tries to talk, but Dorothy, new president and retired school teacher, cuts her off. You've brought shame on this HOA. Please surrender your keys by end of business. Court orders roll in permanent injunction. $8, $500 damages for my dock. $12,000 for my legal fees. $30,000 for unauthorized security fines. The HOA has to pay up, so every neighbor gets a special assessment. Judge adds his own flair. Lynette gets 200 hours of community service, but nowhere near water, has to take a civics class called What Eminent Domain Is Not, and must post a public apology at the next HOA meeting and on the website for 3 months. Plea deal, 3 misdemeanors, 3 years probation, banned from any HOA job in Oregon. Best part. The HOA has to hang a giant banner on the clubhouse: we do not have authority to seize private property, for 6 months. Those golf carts sold at the next garage sale. I bought one, named it Due Process, and use it to haul firewood just for the symbolism. People actually learned something. Neighbors who'd signed that dumb petition apologized. Gerald and Mitch quit the patrol, started golfing for real. Brandon got a regular job. No more costumes or bolt cutters. Dorothy, the new president, requires legal review before any action. No more dawn raids, no more laminated notices, no more fake authority. And when the judge dropped the gavel, Lynette just stood there, mouth open, face the color of beets, clutching those pearls. Her husband had to walk her out because she couldn't move. That laser pointer of hers rolled under the bench and nobody even bothered to pick it up. She just kept whispering, "But I was helping the community," over and over like a broken record finally unplugged. So tell me, do you think justice was served? Or did everyone lose when a neighborhood feud turned into a courtroom circus? Drop your thoughts below. Let's hear your stories, your run-ins with HOAs, or what you'd do if someone tried to seize your property at dawn. And hey, if you know the difference between community spirit and plain old bullying, hit that subscribe button, share your take on right and wrong, and let's keep the conversation rolling. You never know who's watching from the end of Timberline Road.